SCP-1086, Object Class Euclid. SCP-1086 is an immunosuppressive disorder principally brought on by infection with a heretofore undiscovered species of bacteria. Infected individuals are designated SCP-1086-1. The disease has two primary effects on the human body. First, the disease causes the body to reroute 90% of its leukocytes to a single location in the mediastinal lymph node, forming a translucent gelatinous mass identified as SCP-1086-2. During the formation of this mass, white blood cells are converted into a mass of closely interconnected neurons, glial cells, synapses, and circulatory tissue. The final mass will be composed principally of these cells and the bacteria responsible for transmitting SCP-1086, making -2 especially dangerous. The bacteria responsible for SCP-1086 has shown a near-total immunity to bacteriostatic antibiotic agents and a near-total immunity to bactericidal antibiotic agents. In those cases in which bactericidal treatments are effective, the bacteria's rapid rate of reproduction effectively nullifies the treatment's effect. Second, due to the sudden total near suppression of the body's immune system, infected individuals will develop multiple opportunistic infections leading to the victim's rapid death. The bacterial species responsible for SCP-1086 is only found in infected humans and in -2. It has not been located in any other environment or species. -2 is produced by affected individuals during the course of the disease and is one of the principal vectors for transmission of SCP-1086. A marked difference between the SCP-1086 contamination and other immunosuppressive syndromes is the pattern displayed by the opportunistic infections that ultimately result in the patient's death. While other immune-suppressing disorders result in a wide variety of different infections, -1 iterations consistently contract infections in a particular pattern detailed below. The course of SCP-1086 is included in Addendum 1086-1. Addendum 1086-1, SCP-1086 Infection Pattern. Stage 1. Initial infection, either through contact with bacteria or through death of prior instance of -1, patient will rapidly lose immune system protection and fall prey to any number of dermatological diseases. The full list is included in Document 1086-32. However, regardless of the exact nature of the infection, all Stage 1 symptoms will be skin-related, and all will result specifically in severe pockmarking and blistering in geometric shapes across the patient's body. Without skin grafts, -1 iterations will die before entering Stage 2. As per containment procedures, this is to be avoided at all costs. -2 will begin to form in the upper chest of affected individuals, integrate itself into the nervous system, and begin sending messages to the brain. This process reverts the body's leukocytes to a pluripotent form and reassigns them as neuronal tissue. This process is very energy taxing and will burn through affected individuals' stored fat deposits quickly. Massive amounts of supplementary nutrition must be supplied to -1 to avoid death at this stage. Infected individuals become contagious 6 hours after initial infection. Stage 2. Beginning of neurological symptoms 18 hours after initial infection. -1 iterations will become intensely feverish and lose the ability to form coherent sentences during most of their waking hours, speaking mostly in rambling passages with no discernible meaning. The words will be clearly spoken, but the sentences will be incomprehensible in most instances. The only consistency in this stage is the insistence on the part of affected individuals that they are lost without any further explanation. Most patients will likewise contract conjunctivitis during this stage, though all other symptoms will be neurological in nature. -2 will begin sending increasingly complex signals to the brain, which affected individuals will perceive as droning music and mumbling voices. It is believed that the utterances from -1 are attempts to process or describe these sounds. The subject's brain and -2 will battle for control over infected subjects' bodies, with the brain invariably losing. Stage 3. Total takeover by -2, 48 hours after initial infection. Cerebral tissue in affected individuals begin to decay to an unusable extent, giving -2 increased control over affected individuals' bodies, particularly the speech centers of the brain. During this time, -1 iterations will begin uttering a name in a series of numbers. These numbers can be processed into rough coordinates describing a location somewhere on Earth. These messages will be interspersed with hysterical periods of unintelligible babbling, believed to be attempts on the part of -2 to request assistance. Individuals will repeat these phrases for 1 hour, at which point -1 will go into convulsions and expel -2 orally. All personnel nearby must wear biohazard level 4 blue suits during stage 3. Any violation will result in quarantine as a new iteration of -1, as infection is almost certain without total isolation from the contaminated environment. Infected individuals will enter a comatose state and die within 6 hours after expulsion. 12 hours after the death of one -1 iteration, the individual named during stage 3 will spontaneously contract SCP-1086 and become symptomatic. All Foundation task forces within range of the designated location are to converge on the area, locate the named individual, and deliver him to, in order of preference, depending on the amount of time required to capture the individual, Site-38, any Foundation location equipped with biohazard containment facilities, or any civilian facility with equivalent specifications. Task forces involved in such operations are authorized to use whatever means necessary to commandeer such facilities and call for Foundation reinforcements. Containment of named specimens is paramount. Addendum 1086-2. Discovery and Concealment Record. On July 8, 1994, over 200 small gelatinous masses fell into the town of Oakville, Washington, United States of America. These were found to be the initial iterations of -2. Individuals were infected with SCP-1086. Foundation personnel surrounded the quarantined town and were successful in capturing all contaminated individuals. While the use of amnestic agents allowed for the suppression of news of the event reoccurred 5 more times over the next days. MTF Gamma 5 Red Herring was unable to completely prevent all news of the phenomena from escaping, but was successful in creating multiple false leads and misdirecting public understanding of the event. Special Containment Procedures. All instances of -1 are to be contained and quarantined until death. While no method of treating or curing SCP-1086 has been determined, it remains possible to prevent its spread so long as infected iterations are contained as quickly as possible. Due to the time-sensitive nature of containment, any mobile task force not engaged in immediate actions may be activated for purposes of capture and transfer of -1 instances to the central containment area at Site-38. In the event of a widespread outbreak of SCP-1086, any facility, Foundation, or otherwise with a biohazard containment chamber rated at biosafety level 3 or higher may be commandeered for containment purposes. So long as containment protocols are carried out in full, there should be 1 instance of -1 at any given time. This iteration is to be kept alive at all costs until identification of the next victim is complete. Use of any and all necessary medical supplies are pre-authorized for this purpose. In the event of a containment breach resulting in more than 1 instance of -1, it is to be considered preferable that multiple infected individuals be kept alive for fail-safe purposes. But the prevention of further spread of SCP-1086 is to take priority over this. However, no circumstances Under no circumstances are all iterations of SCP-1086-1 to be terminated. This will lead to further outbreak. Note: some concerns have been raised regarding the extensive commitment of personnel and material required to the containment of a single individual. It should be remembered that the priority here is speed. -1 instances become contagious within 6 hours of initial infection, giving 25 hours total of advance warning to stop a potential epidemic. Additionally, containment may require seizing control of a specialized biocontainment lab and complete secrecy before administering amnestics to dozens or hundreds of witnesses. Budgetary concerns are secondary. Dr. Head Researcher, SCP-1086.